In the 6th year of our marriage, my wife, who was always so calm, spiritual, and detached, suddenly slapped me. She thought I had hired someone to cause an accident that hurt her lover and illegitimate daughter. I just hit my limit. I was done holding back and figured if I was going down, I'd take everyone with me. Later, she tried to patch things up, but there was no going back. Feeling utterly annoyed, I was playing the violin to calm down when Irene barged in and yanked my shoulder from behind. I spun around, and she slapped me hard across the face. My left ear buzzed and my cheek burned. Years of suppressed anger burst out of me. I stood firm, looking at her with a gaze that could kill. Did you hire someone to cause Vincent and Nina's accident this morning? Didn't I make it clear, don't touch them? Vincent, her lover, was the apple of her eye. Nina was their illegitimate daughter. Every time something happened to them, they'd blame me right away. Facing Irene's furious accusations, I furrowed my brows, clenched my teeth, and swung my violin right at her head, no holding back. Thud. Unfortunately, since I hit with my left hand, I didn't manage to really hurt her. Justin, are you insane? Caught off guard, Irene staggered back in shock, her angry scream echoing through the room. I shot back, refusing to give in. I've never been slapped in my life. Try it again, and I swear I'll kill you. Irene stared at me, shocked and speechless. The guy who always swallowed his pride and played along was finally showing some backbone? Didn't I tell you? Vincent doesn't threaten your place in my life. Why go after them? I laughed sarcastically. Irene, do you think you're the only woman in the world? Are you some prized catch? Do you think being married to you is such a blessing? I couldn't care less. Irene fell silent, unable to have a comeback for my sharp words. Vincent might want you, but I sure don't. To me, he and his daughter are nothing. If I wanted them dead, it'd be done already. Now get out of my house. You're not welcome here. Irene stared in disbelief, her face flush with outrage. Don't play innocent. I know you too well. You'll do anything for gain, even endure the humiliating. Play innocent? Look who's calling the kettle black. Acting devout while being the worst of the worst. You're trying to live like your dad. Playing happy families with lovers and illegitimate kids. You're full of it, just like a trash bag. I knew exactly where it hurt her most. Sure enough, Irene was furious, her face burning with embarrassment. She knew her actions wouldn't look good. You think I'll do anything for benefit? Aren't you doing the same, keeping your lover as a side piece, doing shady stuff? Aren't you just as low? Bet even Buddha's embarrassed by you. Were you trying to divorce me? She lashed out, suspecting it might scare me. I smirked. Yeah, let's do it. Save your boyfriend from all the trouble he's making to frame me. I'm tired of your drama. I will find out if you caused this. And if you did, I won't let it go. Irene stormed out, fuming. The housemaid stood by with tea, silently setting it down and leaving the room. I looked down at my broken violin, thinking it's just like my shattered life. It's time to fix things. Before our arranged marriage, I knew Irene had a white moonlight, but he was in a coma and had been for years. Right after his accident, she started following a religious path, praying and hoping for his recovery. But she's the Booth family heiress. Sticking with someone in a coma forever wasn't feasible unless she gave up her claim and everything that came with it. Her family wouldn't hear of it, especially her father, John, who'd rather see her lover dead than allow her to renounce her place in the Booth family. So she married into the Wilsons. The reason? Something ridiculous. My eyes reminded her of her lover, Vincent. As for me, I had my reasons to go along with it. As the oldest grandson in the Wilson family, my purpose was to marry well for the family's gain, solidifying the Wilsons' standing. I was to be used as a stepping stone, not truly valued. I had younger siblings from my parents, and other kids in the family were either my mom's illegitimate children or my uncle's kids. 5 years ago, a car crash put my dad in a coma. Within 6 months, my mom's lover moved in as the man of the house. If I refused the marriage, my siblings would struggle, and we'd have no financial support for my dad's care. I had no choice, so I agreed to the marriage. Irene wasn't lacking as a partner, apart from being in love with someone else. I just didn't expect that in the 3rd year of our marriage, Vincent woke up. His waking up quickly shattered our civil union and turned it into a 3-person mess. Especially after she announced to everyone that she had a daughter named Nina with Vincent. She didn't hesitate to show Vincent around at all the booth's events, taunting me repeatedly and making me a laughingstock. But I just had to suffer through it. I had thought about divorce, but the timing wasn't right. I didn't want to let those who humiliated me off the hook that easily. Ring, ring, ring. A sudden phone call interrupted my gloomy thoughts. I turned and picked up my phone. It was a call from a hospital worker. Without hesitation, I answered it. Hello, Lee. What's up? Hey Dave, your dad had an incident. You need to come to the hospital right now. I felt like I'd been struck by lightning, panicking. I hung up and hurriedly grabbed my things, rushing out in my car to the hospital. Outside the emergency room, I arrived while the doctors were still trying to save him. Lee just said that my dad suddenly stopped breathing, and Ken had been by, saying some really nasty stuff. Ken was Mom's lover she was eager to marry. This had to be linked to him. Suddenly, the emergency room lights went off. A doctor came out, removed his mask, and said, "We did everything we could. I'm sorry for your loss. You should start arranging the funeral." My mind went blank. It was like a string snapped, and I almost fell if it weren't for Lee and a doctor grabbing me in time, keeping me from collapsing. One thought kept ringing in my mind. I don't have a dad anymore. Lee helped me sit down and gently advised, "You need to take care of yourself so your dad can rest in peace." He seemed experienced with this. He then asked, "Should we inform others? Your siblings might want to see him one last time, right?" In my hurry, I hadn't thought to tell others. I assumed it would be just like before, just a false alarm and he'd be okay. I never expected this would happen. I took deep breaths to calm myself and handle everything rationally. Soon, I got my grip back and decided to call the police and request an autopsy. I wasn't going to let any culprit go unpunished. 2 days later, after the autopsy was completed, my dad was moved to the funeral home for the service. I contacted my siblings to handle the arrangements and prepare the funeral. I didn't inform the Wilsons or the Booths. Nobody cared about him anyway. When he was alive, people treated him poorly, so no need to bother him now that he's gone. However, the Wilsons still showed up at the funeral. Seeing Ken's smug face, pretending to pay his respects, made my blood boil. Couldn't hold back. Right in front of everyone, I kicked him hard, sending him sprawling. The crowd gasped, and all hell broke loose. "Justin, are you nuts?" After Ken's cry from the fall, Stephanie was furious and yelled at me as if she wanted to tear me apart. Fearlessly, I replied coolly, 5 years ago, my dad's car accident was his doing, and you were involved. This time he suddenly passed? It was him, he gave Dad an injection. Don't think I don't know. What nonsense are you spewing? The crowd quickly turned gossipy, exclaiming and whispering, while Stephanie tried to belittle and suppress me. With my dad gone, I had no more reservations. So I sneered. Nonsense? I pointed at Gloria, the illegitimate daughter of Stephanie and Ken. What's her existence then? Why are you here with your whole family? For show or to mock? In wealthy families, illegitimate children are common, so Stephanie just scolded me. Have you had enough? Do you even know where you are? This is a funeral. I was well aware it was my dad's funeral. If I didn't seek justice, I wasn't fit to be his son. I scanned the crowd and noticed Irene there, looking shocked at me. I ignored it and continued with a mocking laugh. And another secret for you, I gestured to Gloria, has had a heart transplant, and do you know where it came from? A living donor. No way, is that true? Is it really that monstrous? The crowd erupted into chatter. Stephanie moved to stop me, hand raised to slap me, but my sister Bonnie stepped in, quickly smacking her back, warning, touch my brother, I dare you. Stephanie was overcome with rage, nearly fainting. Bonnie was feisty and wouldn't back down. Stephanie had no real advantage here. Take your adulterer and your bastard and leave. Don't taint my dad's funeral. Otherwise, I'll personally show you out. Bonnie's words were clear, with her fists clenched tightly, bursting with warning. Stephanie paused, realizing she couldn't play the family harmony card.
I'm hurt, Stephanie.
My ankle, my back, get me to the hospital. Ken moaned and groaned, catching everyone's sympathy, pretending he's seriously hurt. Not wanting more exposure of their dirty laundry, Stephanie helped him up and left, taking what was left of their dignity. Gloria and her brother Albert followed, glaring daggers, unwilling to stay any longer. Why didn't you call me? After the funeral got back on track, Irene stood next to me, clutching her prayer beads, and suddenly asked something. Just a nominal daughter-in-law, really, and soon I won't even be that. It's unnecessary, I replied nonchalantly, still focused on my dad's memorial photo. Irene was so mad she couldn't speak, staring daggers at me, but didn't blow up in front of everyone. The funeral wrapped up quickly, and my dad was taken to the crematorium. While waiting for the ashes, a video of a scuffle at the funeral hit trending topics. I had ordered my people to do that. It was all part of a plan to smear the Wilsons' reputation and make them face consequences. Alongside, I released my dad's autopsy and the accident report, with evidence of Ken hiring a hitman, and even details about how Gloria got her heart transplant. I wanted to let the public judge and ruin the Wilsons' name for good. I had an IT company under my name which had been in the background for years, ready for this. By the time Stephanie realized she needed to respond, it was too late. The issue had already blown up online, and there was no way to fix it. Bro, do we not have a home anymore? My brother William asked, looking lost. I took my eyes off my phone screen and said firmly, nope, as long as I'm here, so is your home. Dad's gone, are you gonna get a divorce? Yup, I answered assuredly. Doesn't it bother you, Vincent picking on you like that? No, no way am I gonna let them have it easy. You're not gonna get yourself in trouble, right? William asked, full of concern. I've got it under control, I assured him. He seemed to relax a bit after that. Once we got the ashes, the three of us siblings headed to my villa, planning to pick a good day for burial. As soon as we got home and stepped inside, the housekeeper said, Irene and her dad are here. After Irene stormed out of the funeral home, I had no idea what they wanted to talk about. This stuff shouldn't be brought home. It's bad luck. Don't you know anything? You can leave it at the funeral home, John grumbled, scrunching up his face in disgust when he saw my sister holding the urn and my brother with the black and white photo. I shot back, unbothered. This is my house. Even if I turn it into a room for ashes, it's none of your business. Surprised by my cheeky comeback, John got mad. How can you talk like that? I'm just trying to help, but if you don't appreciate it, there's no need to be rude. Irene sat there composed on the couch, legs crossed, playing with her beads, silent as ever. If you've got something to say, spit it out. If not, you can leave. I don't have time to entertain you, I said coldly, basically showing them the door. John got even more riled up. Didn't even tell the Booths about the funeral in advance. What? Were you trying to embarrass us? Let people make fun of us? The Booths have embarrassed themselves plenty. One more won't matter, especially since I'm divorcing your daughter soon. I replied as I put things away and wiped down the TV stand, letting my sister set the urn down. What? You're getting a divorce? John asked, shocked. I turned to Irene, sitting across from her. Let's settle a time to draft a divorce agreement and get it over with. I get it. You're upset now with your dad gone, but divorce isn't the way to deal with it. Irene replied, her calm voice carrying a warning. Exactly, no need to rush into divorce, John chimed in, clearly thinking interest was the priority here. I'm set on this. I'm just informing you. Not playing hard to get, not being dramatic. You don't agree? I'll file for divorce. Don't blame me later. Irene stayed calm, almost smug. Is this about Vincent and Nina? I've said it before, they don't affect your status. Ha! Is that right? I chuckled coldly. Funny. I still remember you storming in here and slapping me in the face. What the hell? You hit my brother? Bonnie shot up, ready to hit back, but William held her back. Claiming to be all about Buddhism? What a joke. What kind of person hits their husband? Watch your mouth. That's out of line, John scolded. Bonnie was even angrier. Want me to be polite? Teach your daughter some manners. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. parading around with her lover and love child. And you won't divorce her? Think my brother's a pushover? Such garbage. Always pretending to be righteous, clutching those beads. Doesn't it bother her? Stung by Bonnie's words, Irene turned to me angrily. I've never hid Vincent's existence. So what are you making a fuss about now? True, you weren't hiding him, but I never thought you'd stoop so low. You've become just like your dad. I hate lovers and love children who flaunt their existence to the spouse. My dad's gone, so I'm done tolerating this. Get it? I didn't hold back, hitting where it hurt. Irene stood up, furious, her words full of spite. You want a divorce? Forget it. Irene, will only become a widow, never a divorcee. Then she stormed past the coffee table and left, running away as usual when she couldn't handle it. She never changed or admitted wrongdoing, always doing what she wanted. Even if she claimed to follow a peaceful path, she wanted it all. She wants a husband who's a good match and a lover who's gentle and talented. She wants it all. Just look at her go for it. John, seeing the situation, turned pale and asked, So, did you make those videos online? You're trying to ruin the Wilsons? I didn't want to answer. I coldly said, That doesn't seem to concern you. You should probably worry about yourself. John seemed to understand something, got up, and left without asking more. What kind of people are these? Just trash. Bonnie couldn't help but complain. All right, let's go eat. I was exhausted and too hungry to think, so I just got up and said it. Don't we need to make offerings and burn incense first? William suddenly reminded us. We siblings hadn't done it before, so we didn't know much. But in the end, we laid out offerings in the living room for the ritual before heading to dinner, then washed up and decided to rest, ignoring everything else for the time being. The next morning, shares of the Wilsons Company, WJ Group, hit rock bottom. In the afternoon, Ken and Stephanie were arrested. Everything related to them blew up online, including the dark secrets of Gloria's heart transplant. It stayed high on trending topics, infuriating the public and triggering outrage. People were furious about their so-called privileges, loudly demanding justice. By evening, unable to reach me, the Wilsons repeatedly urged me to return, eventually sending someone to force me back. When I walked in, everyone was present. It looked like a tribunal, ready to accuse me I might not get out of this door easily today. Bang! Mrs. Wilson was the first to lash out, throwing a teacup at me in anger, yelling, You brat! What are you trying to do? Ruining the Wilsons' reputation, what good does it do you? I dodged the teacup, unfazed, and replied, No benefit really, but I'm avenging my dad, taking a few enemies down with me. Isn't that fair? Everyone was shocked, not expecting someone usually so docile to be so extreme. Aunt Julia spoke directly, Even if you want revenge, you didn't have to make it public, did you? If the Wilsons fall, your life with the Booths won't be easy either. Take those videos down. If someone killed your dad, could you just let it go? I retorted bluntly. Faces turned awkward, and no one argued back. If the Wilsons don't fall, I won't get my revenge. You'd protect Stephanie and Ken, even Gloria, using your wealth and power as a weapon against the weak. Like the young man whose heart was taken. Do you know why he was unexpectedly hit after work and then had his heart removed while still alive? It isn't fair, is it? Mrs. Wilson looked pained, clutching her heart, unable to accept it. I continued, They who do evil will eventually be punished. You two failed to raise your children right and indirectly caused my dad's death. It's only fair you face retribution. I just exposed the truth, letting society judge the wicked. What's wrong with that? The Wilsons' fates are tied. In loss or gain, we stand together. What's wrong with that? Uncle couldn't help but scold, as his interests were indeed affected. Really no fault of your own? You've tormented my dad enough with yours, never allowing him and us to join family meals. Speaking of which, you've got dirt in my hands, too. Push me and I'll ruin your name, making you unfit for high society. Are you crazy? Uncle was suddenly panicked. Mr. Wilson, usually harsh and abrasive, stared at me with a death-like glare but said nothing. So, with a sneer, I asked, Want to kill me, don't you? Well, if I die, your fate would be grimmer. Mr. Wilson gritted his teeth, I never imagined you'd be such an ungrateful wretch with no family loyalty. Always condescending, he would act authoritative and unquestionable. I feared him as a child, but not anymore. So, I replied, this rotten family is a scourge, why should I be loyal? Grandma, Mrs. Wilson suddenly collapsed, causing chaos. Then my cousin carried the elderly lady out quickly to the hospital, with others following in a crowd. Julia glared resentfully at me but said nothing, leaving with the rest. I know if they want to take me down or cut off my support to make me submit, they can. But I've prepared. I never thought I'd come out untouched. A few days later, Gloria died, stabbed by the mother of the heart donor. That mother had been absent since her son's unexpected death, living dazedly. Not knowing the truth before, now she had her vengeance and said it settled her heart. Moreover, everyone linked to that surgery, the hospital, doctors, they're under investigation, nobody escaped blame. To ruin me and my reputation, Albert spread lies online amid the heat, twisting the facts, saying his parents were true lovers torn apart by my father's schemes. Also, he falsely claimed I followed in my father's footsteps, rising through an affair. 7 years ago, to win over Irene, I orchestrated a car accident that left her boyfriend in a vegetative state. That gave me the chance to marry her. When a rumor video hit the trending list and public opinion turned against me, Vincent used a friend's social account to fuel the rumors. He claimed it was all true and that I did cause the accident. Luckily, he said, he survived but ended up as a vegetable, asleep for over 5 years. He even shared photos of the accident and medical treatments, making it seem legit. Because of this, I became the target of an online witch hunt. My information got spread, and I was bombarded with vile insults on my social media. My phone pinged with the nastiest messages you'd ever see. Once the rumor went viral enough, I went to the police and made sure Albert's dirt hit the web. That includes how he once drugged and harassed a wealthy woman. As for Vincent, I didn't hold back. I released the road footage from the accident. The video clearly showed him and Irene arguing, fighting over the wheel, which caused the crash. It turned out they were fighting because she wanted to break up with him, nothing to do with me. I also released evidence of Vincent's cheating and affairs, making sure he could never come back and taunt me. I went after him hard. Now, with my dad gone, I couldn't care less about my marriage or keeping up appearances with Irene. Unfortunately, Irene has powerful backing. For the sake of the booth's reputation, the negative buzz around Vincent got buried fast. It didn't lead to any big public outrage, just him losing face locally and becoming a laughingstock. I expected that. Irene and the booths are all about maintaining appearances. That night, at a private club, I happened to see Irene and her best friend Mandy heading toward the balcony, maybe for some air. I was going to approach them for a chat when I overheard Mandy teasingly ask, if you like Vincent so much and have a kid with him, why not divorce and marry him? Irene replied, as usual, with indifference. He's not fit to be a husband, can't handle my family, can't give me peace. Turns out, she's scheming not to divorce. How shameless. Mandy asked, aren't you scared Justin might fight back someday? People have their limits, Irene retorted, unfazed. A few fights don't matter as long as it doesn't cross my line. But he moved out over a year ago. That's not just a little fight. He'll come back when he wants kids. I'll give him one when he's ready, Irene said calmly. Mandy laughed. You really play at a higher level. But seriously, where does he get all this dirt on people? Private eye work, maybe? Irene sounded a bit down, no idea. He's got a digital tech company under his name. Probably gathered it all for a rainy day. So he's pretty scary. Can you handle him? Mandy asked. Irene, puffing a smoke, stayed silent. I didn't feel like eavesdropping anymore. Didn't want to chat either, so I turned to leave. Just then, I ran into Vivian, standing by a private room's door, looking curious. Long time no see, I greeted with a smile. Vivian flashed a bright smile. Want to grab a drink? Sure. Was looking to talk to you anyway. Vivian led me to another empty room, ordered drinks, and asked with a smile, so what's up? I got straight to it. WJ Group stock has plummeted and they're close to delisting. Some projects have stalled. I was hoping you could seize the chance to buy WJ Group or become the major shareholder. How about it? Vivian leaned back on the sofa, casually smiling, and after the acquisition, I don't have another plan. I just want you to kick the Wilsons out of the board, especially my aunt and uncle. I don't want them abusing WJ Group's resources anymore. A few projects there are about to profit, you won't lose out. The problem is your grandma, aunt, and uncle might not want to sell their shares. I've got leverage over my aunt and uncle. I'll give you the info they'll sell. As for my grandma, she's old. She'll weigh the pros and cons. You'll figure it out. Okay. Vivian agreed with a meaningful smile. Suddenly, she asked bluntly, when are you planning to divorce? Don't tell me you're still gonna put up with it. I felt a bit awkward, chuckling dryly. I want to, but Irene doesn't agree. The Booths don't want the scandal. Need my help? Vivian asked seriously. A bit puzzled, I asked, help me? How? Irene'd rather be widowed than divorce. Why not make you the widow? Vivian chuckled, so casually that it felt almost eerie. I awkwardly laughed, going against the Booths, I wouldn't stand a chance. Best if she agrees to divorce. At that moment, the waiter brought in drinks and a big fruit platter. With so much on my mind, my nerves were strung tight. So I started drinking with Vivian. Before I knew it, I got a little tipsy. My brain became sluggish, and feelings of sadness, the pain of losing my father, suddenly hit me hard. I couldn't help but pour out my troubles and difficulties to Vivian, treating her like a confidant. After letting it all out, I was about to head home. Vivian didn't stop me, she just quietly listened, and then kindly saw me off without saying much. But just my luck. When Vivian was helping me into the car, we ran into someone we knew. They sneakily filmed a misleading video, which got partially pixelated and uploaded online. The title read, Heir of WJ Group Marriage Crisis. Suspected affair with mysterious woman. Since it involved Hot Topics, WJ Group, and the Wilson family heir, the buzz picked up fast. It also dragged Irene and the Booths into it, pushing the video to trend quickly. By the time I woke up from my boozy sleep the next morning, the video was still trending high. Some of Vivian's info got out, suggesting a conspiracy, filling my phone with missed calls and unread messages. There were missed calls from the Booths mansion, urging me to come over, likely to scold me and lay down the law. Nothing good, I bet. Irene left missed calls and messages, demanding, why is the video still trending? What are you trying to do? Raise a hell. I ignored them, didn't reply. I just grabbed the already prepped divorce papers and headed to get Irene to sign them. Since it was a weekend, when I got to our marital home, Irene was there, along with Vincent and his daughter. As soon as I stepped inside, Nina, who was on her toy car, saw me and yelled, bad man, he's here. She dropped her toy, ran to Vincent, and hid in his arms like I was some terrifying monster who'd abused her. Irene was on the sofa, watching all this, but said nothing, just glared at me with a darkened expression. I couldn't help but laugh sarcastically. Is that really your kid? Why does she seem so brainless? Wasn't she in an accident? How's she untouched? Vincent broke in with a snarky tone, playing innocent. I know you don't like Nina. You find her annoying. Wish she'd vanish. But don't be mean. She's just a kid. She understands nothing. I felt my heart skip in frustration, wanting to smack him. She doesn't get it? Do you not get it either? Kids reflect their parents' upbringing. If you can't teach, don't have them. Vincent's eyes welled up. I know I'm not as good as you, even. Here we go again. I'm not here for your drama. Can you shut up? I snapped back, handed the divorce papers to Irene. These are the divorce papers. Sign them. Irene didn't take them, just scowled. You rushing for a divorce? Is it because of Vivian? What's it to you? I shot back from above her. I'm not divorcing you. Heh, guess some people aren't meant for marriage then. Like you, totally undeserving of a partner. I laughed. Having a marriage certificate to bind a husband who isn't loyal is pointless. Irene's face darkened. You're not me. How do you know it's pointless? I glanced mockingly at Vincent. So, we all just ditch loyalty, throw out personal boundaries, go for an open marriage, yeah? I'll find women, have kids. You cool with that? Irene got furious. Other than divorcing, what do you want? Double standards. Huh? You get to play, not me? I tossed the divorce papers at her. Fine. Since there's no negotiating, see you in court. Justin, my patience is limited. Don't push me to act. You can't handle it. Irene warned me fiercely. I snapped back, my patience has limits too. You have more to lose than I do. Go ahead, destroy everything. I'm not afraid. Glancing at Vincent and his daughter. Done with that, I headed upstairs to pack my stuff and leave. I hadn't fully moved out before as I was trying to keep things civil. But now I'd finished the job. Irene, why won't you divorce him? Do you love him? Vincent cried. You said you'd only love me. You put me in this coma. Don't you owe me and the kid a real family? If you don't divorce and marry me now, I swear I'll take the kid and end it. He sobbed, making Nina cry too. But Irene just stood there silent and unresponsive like she was in a trance. Upstairs, in the bedroom I used to stay in, nothing changed, no dust, the space still cleaned nicely by a housekeeper. I started packing my stuff. Midway through, Irene showed up, leaning on the closet door, calmly saying, "Let's talk." The suddenness startled me, making me snap. Talk about what? What's left to say? She uncharacteristically explained, Vincent saved me once. Years ago, an accident put him in a coma partly because of me. I have to make it up to him, even having a kid, if that's what he wants. I can make them disappear, never to cross your path again. Just don't divorce. Name your terms. Was she really trying to play the nice card after the tough approach failed? Did she seriously think I'd sacrifice my dignity for some material gain? Good thing I never expected true love from this arranged marriage. I'd never wanted it to be anything more than cordial. Otherwise, her antics would have driven me into depression. Humph. I couldn't help but scoff, mocking, people talk about self-cultivation and family harmony. Do you think you're even a decent person? You repaying kindness or dating, that's your choice. What's it got to do with me? Why drag me into it? Why should I put up with and enable your selfishness? Irene got a bit annoyed instantly. I've said it, it won't happen again. I lost it and started cursing, you're such a jerk. Don't make me look down on you. You mess around with relationships. You're an incomplete mother. You're barely able to handle this marriage, yet you think you can live happily ever after with me? Irene was instantly speechless. Her face turned red with shame. Before all this, you favored Vincent, always shielding him unconditionally. No matter how he slandered or targeted me, you'd clean up his mess. Even when he was spreading lies online, ruining my reputation, you defended him. When I fought back, you chose to go against me. I've undergone all the grievances while you all took the spotlight. Now you shamelessly ask me to forgive and move on with you? How can you have the audacity? Do you take me for a saint who can forgive everything? Irene, acting like she didn't get it, obstinately insisted, I'll change. I'll make it up to you. What do you want? Shares in the company? Felt like talking to a brick wall. Completely pointless. I would never end up like Vincent, not getting involved with you again. Get out. Don't bother me while I'm packing. Suddenly, Irene got angry and started speaking harshly. Who else could you find that's better than me? You think Vivian will marry you? Is she really better than me? Get out. Can't you understand simple words? While packing, I threw something at her face, having run out of patience completely. Irene caught it quickly. Her expression was complicated, looking at me as if I had wronged her. Her eyes filled with resentment. In the end, I ignored her, packed my things, and she left, realizing more talk was pointless. A few hours later, I moved all my stuff out, leaving nothing behind, including the plants I had grown in the garden. No trace of me was left there. A week later, Vivian completed acquiring most of WJ Group's shares, all except those Stephanie still held. So, I visited her in detention to get her to sign the share transfer agreement. Do you hate me that much? As soon as we met, Stephanie asked, looking defeated. I couldn't help but laugh coldly. Shouldn't I? You ruined my dad's life and nearly wrecked mine, along with my siblings' lives. Shouldn't karma bite back? Stephanie was speechless and quietly sat across from me. I pushed the share transfer agreement in front of her. WJ Group has changed hands. You better transfer your shares to us siblings, or you'll regret it. Not knowing what happened, Stephanie looked shocked. How is that possible? What about your uncle? The truth is, it really changed hands, I'm not lying to you. Also, your beloved daughter Gloria is dead, stabbed by the mother of a boy who had his heart stolen. And your beloved son Albert is in detention for defamation, with all his misdeeds exposed. His future won't be easy, he might end up dead if retaliated against. I spoke lightly, but Stephanie's eyes filled with tears. Her lips trembled and couldn't utter a word. After a while, she bitterly remarked, I can't believe it. You turned out to be the wolf. Your dad was holding the leash. It's insane. Choking up, she suddenly asked, if I sign, can Albert go free and be sent abroad safely? I felt a sting of bitterness inside, realizing how differently children are treated. Is this what they call a child prospering because of their mother? All right. I agreed, though I couldn't guarantee his safety once abroad. Stephanie shakily signed and stamped, without hesitation. After double-checking, I packed up the agreement to leave. Sorry. As I turned, Stephanie suddenly choked out an apology. My heart filled with mixed emotions, but I still laughed coldly. Even if you apologize, it won't reduce your sentence, so save it. I don't believe she thinks she's wrong. People like her, even if they are wrong, would never admit it. An abrupt apology like this is probably just for her illegitimate son to avoid revenge. Later, I didn't sell the shares, I split them 3 ways, keeping them with us siblings. Vivian did not mind or insist on complete acquisition. A month later, as Irene refused to sign the divorce papers, I filed for divorce. Soon, the court date arrived. The case was clear, preparation was thorough, and evidence compelling. So the divorce was granted in court. Even though Irene still refused, there was no room for negotiation. After that, Vivian moved next door, occasionally dropping by to eat. Her intention was clear, wanting to be my girlfriend. Sometimes she'd sincerely light incense for my dad, hoping he'd approve of her as a daughter-in-law. My siblings even supported her, telling me to start dating her soon, or I'd go nuts. Another month later, Ken's case was closed, with a death sentence and immediate execution, along with civil compensation for multiple murder charges and severe impact. Stephanie got 20 years and 5 more of political rights deprivation for multiple crimes and related compensation. As for Albert, after being released, he was retaliated against, injured someone during the confrontation, and went back in, got a 3-year sentence, so he didn't even need to go abroad. With everything sorted, my dad was finally laid to rest. My siblings and I picked a good day and time to give him a proper burial. We wanted him to rest in peace without any lingering concerns. A year later, I married Vivian. Another year later, Vivian gave birth to our lovely daughter, and we named her Fiona. The next time I saw Irene and Vincent was at the aquarium. Our child was just over a year old at the time, and we were there with Vivian for a fun day out. We bumped into them pretty unexpectedly, and it got a little awkward. Long time no see. How have you been? Irene was the first to speak. She looked at me with calm eyes. The blue lights from the aquarium lit her face, while fish swam by the glass, giving her an inexplicable, lifeless aura. Vincent, holding onto their little girl, looked at me like I owed him millions, brimming with resentment. I heard that Irene didn't marry him. Shortly after our divorce, she lost her place as an heir of the Booths. She spent over a year in a temple before coming back. Now, she started her own business, and it's apparently doing well. Everything's good. How about you? I responded politely. I'm doing okay. Irene replied with a forced smile, her gaze dropping to my daughter. Is she your daughter? She's adorable. Upon hearing the compliment, Nina suddenly retorted, she's ugly. Not cute. Vivian, holding our daughter, couldn't help but snap back. Little girl, watch your mouth, or you'll get a sore tongue. Our daughter means the world to her. If it were an adult, Vivian would have probably slapped them. Nina quickly hid behind Vincent, too intimidated to continue her rude remarks. Sorry, she's been spoiled. Irene looked genuinely apologetic. She tends to speak without thinking. You can tell a child's nature when they're 3 and their character when they're 7. Watch out or life will teach her a harsh lesson. Vivian replied sharply, grabbing my arm to leave, not wanting to linger. Irene merely stood there awkwardly, saying nothing more. Vincent, on the other hand, couldn't hide his anger. He tapped Nina's forehead hard and scolded, "You're always causing a scene, embarrassing us." Nina started crying loudly, feeling wronged. Irene, however, sharply commanded her, "Stop crying, or we'll head home." There was no calming her down, no patience to gently correct the child's mistakes. A barren land can't grow roses, it's only a matter of time before everything withers, Vivian remarked, picking up the pace. "Let's go, don't look back. It's bad luck." She's pretty sensitive about this. If I ever mention Irene, she'll stay mad for half the day and needs to be soothed carefully. "Daddy, big fish, big fish." Our daughter suddenly pointed at the glass, excitedly yelling, "Mermaid, mermaid." "Yes, baby, you're so smart. It's a mermaid, but it's played by a person, not a real one." I explained patiently, not caring if she understood. She looked confused, not fully getting it. So, I teased her, "Sweetie, should we turn mommy into a mermaid?" Her eyes lit up, and she asked curiously, "Can we?" "No way. Humans can't turn into mermaids," Vivian answered firmly. Holding our daughter with one arm, she wrapped the other around my neck and leaned in, joking, "With my body and looks, are you really willing to have others admire me?" I was momentarily speechless and joked, "Narcissist." Vivian was even more amused. "If I've got you head over heels, not knowing day from night, a little narcissism isn't too bad, right? You're shameless." Without missing a beat, Vivian kissed my cheek, saying, "I'd be even happier if you said you love me." I couldn't help but blush and rolled my eyes playfully, not admitting it directly. She just laughed more, as if I'd already confessed. She's really easily pleased, full of energy. Just a little spark can light up her whole day. Being around her is easy and comfortable. She never gets wrapped up in negative emotions. Most importantly, she's a good, genuine person. She keeps herself above the mess of complicated relationships. Really, she's amazing. Marrying her was a choice I've never regretted. Having kids with her, even less so. Everything happened just right at the perfect time. Vivian's perspective. The first time I felt butterflies was seeing the groom at Irene's wedding. His name was Justin. He was just like his name, tall and graceful like a poplar tree, reserved with a quiet strength that made you feel for him. It made me want to steal him away, thinking Irene didn't deserve him. Turns out Irene wasn't a good person. Selfish, fake, and greedy. Even accepted her illegitimate daughter and wouldn't leave him alone. She embarrassed him time and again, and it was only with great restraint that I didn't do something to make her a widow. Eventually, I couldn't hold back and decided to win him over. After his father was taken from him, Justin wanted revenge on the Wilsons and chose divorce. I helped him secretly. I made sure the Wilsons couldn't support his enemies and helped him win the divorce battle. Irene and the Booths couldn't touch him anymore. I chased him for over 6 months, being as thoughtful as possible, before he let go of his doubts and agreed to date me. After another 6 months of effort and care, I finally got him to marry me. I knew he was smart. He let himself fall for my tricks on purpose, letting me become his wife and build a warm home together. I had a daughter with him, which made me feel the continuity of life deeply and appreciate life more. Seeing him every night before bed and every morning when I wake fills me with energy and fulfillment. This is how life should be. Those who love and who are loved deserve full happiness. Irene's perspective. Habit is a scary thing. It marks your body, impossible to erase. Like my ex-husband, Justin. 3 years of respect and harmony with him were the most comfortable years of my life. He covered all the bases, made me think he had no temper, that he'd never leave. Even with a lover and an acknowledged illegitimate daughter outside, he'd stay, like any other wealthy son-in-law, for the peace of the home. But I was wrong. He just hid his strength to avoid trouble. His father was like a seal on him, and once that was broken, there was no going back. Vincent was my first love. We had an on and off thing for years. We fought over a breakup, and then a car accident made him a ghost of a person. I felt I owed him, needed to make it right, even if it was claiming a child. But my life shattered and became a mess I couldn't escape. They say betraying a spouse blocks wealth. Knowing Justin remarried left me feeling life was pointless. Seeing his daughter and his joyful smile, his words echoed in my ears. You're such a terrible person. Yes, I am a terrible person. I've become the kind of woman I despise. I've lost my spouse, child, father, starting relationships and breaking them, completely undeserving of being human.